Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to take you to ScrapsKC, which is a creative reuse store in Kansas City. Look at this. This one is my favorite. I have to tell you, I've been scoping these stores out. I've been to quite a few. This one is my absolute favorite. This is going to be a long video and you're not even going to see the whole store. So that's a peek at the store itself. Then I have gone back to the paper crafting section. A delightful staff member toured me around and welcomed me and we chatted, and then I got into shopping and turned on my camera. You will notice that this store is beautifully organized. I would call it micro sorted. You know that in my craft room, everything is macro sorted. We're lucky if it's sorted at all. This place is delightful to shop in, and there is just so much good stuff. I'm going to take you along with me, show you as much as I can. My apologies for my filming. You know that it is hard to film and shop. And at one point, Mr. Crafting and Relaxing began following me around. He said we were there 2 hours, but for the record, they hadn't been open for 2 hours yet. In fact, I went back twice more during the weekend. My haul video is going to be separate because there's so much good stuff. I have never been to a creative reuse store or any store that just has the selection that this one has. It's amazing. Let me tell you a little bit about it. ScrapsKC is not part of the Scrap PDX chain or anything like that. They have a super cool mission. Their mission is to care for Kansas City's environment, education, and homeless through the creative reuse. So they're using it to support their homeless population also. And they have free items. They have items that you can, like sock kits for the homeless, all sorts of things. I think that because their mission is so outstanding, they probably really have amazing volunteers and people are excited to donate. Look at those. I thought about buying them. I'm going to tell you, I didn't. I'm not going to tell you all throughout the video what I did and didn't buy, but I can assure you, you will see in my haul things that you never saw in this video, because this video is all done on my one visit. And remember, I had 2 more. Frames, paper shapes, frames, all kinds of stuff. Bin after bin of goodness. And for the most part, I left this real time just because there's so much. This is about a half an hour as it is. I had so much fun that I thought you would probably want to see all this nonsense. Even though, maybe if you don't like shopping so much, then go ahead and turn this off. But I'll just tell you about it as we go. When Mr. Crafting and Relaxing pulled into the parking lot, he looked around and said, "Are you sure this is someplace you want to go?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I've scoped this out because I showed you the door, right? It's very nondescript. You wouldn't know. Look at those cute tags." It's just really amazing. The staff is wonderful. I'll tell you about different things that they did that were cool. Have you guys seen these before? They're Stampin' Up! Metal tags. And the entire package was there. They had them in 2 different colors. They were $5 a piece. If you've been to a lot of Stampin' Up! Parties, you might think, oh, you should have snatched those up because you can do so many things. I just thought they would sit. I just wasn't sure I was going to use them. They would have looked really cool in journals. I do know that. For the most part, their prices were fabulous. Sometimes in thrift stores or creative reuse, you have different volunteers pricing on different days. So one pack of stickers is $1, a very similar pack is $4. I really didn't see that here, but lots of times that's why I'm checking the price tags. Because in the beginning, too, I'm trying to learn. Towards the end, I wasn't even checking the tags, I'll be honest with you. I was like, I'll take it. These clear albums caught my eye because they can be really fun. This is a crayon-shaped acrylic album. They were really trendy for a while. They're fun to make, but I just decided not to. Look at these. I didn't even know what was in the package, but I did bring those home, so we'll get to see those more later. That one, I wasn't too sure about. In thrift, you may not fully understand the products that you're looking at. So in retail, you might have seen a video recently online or an advertisement and you know exactly what product you're looking for. But one of the things I love about the creative reuse stores is you have decades worth of products. So in some cases, you're going to find your old favorites like basic gray, or you might see things that you never saw in your area or in your region that are just fun. Foam stamps down there. I didn't really look through those, but foam stamps are great for art journaling or stamping on rocks with kids. Scrapbooking ribbon and yarn. I looked at this a little bit and then realized there is a whole giant amazing section of textiles behind me, so I'm not messing around with that. I'll show you more of that later. Look at all the stamps. They are sorted by bins into themes. I did not go through them on video. My apologies. I did, however, go through them quite a bit and find some treasures. Their stamp sets, you're going to see some prices, but their stamp sets are half off and their woodblock stamps are 50 cents. So that stamp set is $4, but you would pay $2 for it. It seems to me like they have so many, that's a pretty normal sale. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they adjust their prices downward a little. At one point, I picked up a woodblock stamp that said $5, but it would have been 50 cents. Boxer Productions, I'm pretty sure that was a Pacific Northwest company. I used to take their classes at Expo. That's why that caught my eye. Stamp-a-majig, these rollers, those are so fun. If you have those, get them out and play with them. Stamp sets, oh my gosh, I don't need more stamps, do I? But their selection was amazing. Look at this. Life is Good. You know I bought that, right? That was coming home with me. I don't have a stamp that says Life is Good, or at least not a big one like that. I found it interesting too. You know, when you travel, you find brands that you hadn't seen before. I don't know that I'm familiar with Honey Pop. That one wasn't familiar. But look at all these Hero Arts stamps. Noni loves Hero Arts, and she's probably going to be thinking I should have brought more home with me. I could only bring so much. Space was an issue. Remember, I don't check bags. Look at that one that says something about sparkle. That would have been so good with star stamps. This one, oh, it almost got me, but I have so many patriotic ones. I left it for someone else. As I'm going through the stamp sets, let me tell you a little more about this organization. I already told you they have wonderful staff and volunteers. I met the executive director, Brenda. She's delightful. And I just really think that if you're anywhere in the area, this is the place you would want to support. If I was, I'd say within 2 or 3 hours, I would make it a road trip and I would go with friends. The building gets warm and it gets busy. So if you can, check their website. Some days they open at 10, some days they open at noon, and I would be there when they open and I would be prepared to shop. Art Warehouse, Danelle Johnson, they had a bunch of these stamps. They were very neat products and it was not a brand I had heard of before. All these stamp sets, half off, and any single woodblock stamp, 50 cents. It's amazing. Look at that tag set. So it would have been $4, but I was thinking about weight, and I have so many tags, and I'm sure I have a tag set. Anyway, the first day I wore a skirt, I would recommend if you go to this place, you are ready. I mean, you're ready to shop. I would wear pants so you could get down on the floor, or shorts maybe, and dress light because it does get hot in there. What is this stuff, you guys? I don't even know, but I mean, if you watch my channel, you know that I bought some. There's no doubt, right? Maybe it's shower curtains, maybe, I don't know what product it was, but in my mind, it's a journal cover, and it's an amazing journal cover. When I was shopping, I was thinking, can I get that home? And how much of my space would I have to sacrifice? So that's why those giant rolled up posters, I'm sure there was cool stuff in there, but I couldn't fill a minivan. The funny thing is I had a really nice big rental, man. Too bad I wasn't driving that home. Did you see those big drawers across the back. If you didn't, rewind a little bit next to the floral section and you'll see them. We're going to talk about those later. Cork sheets, but those drawers are very key. If you go to the store and you're an art journaler or a junk journaler, you're going to want to look in those drawers. Now we're back in the paper crafting section and I'm on the sticker side. Spring stickers, summer embellishments, sports, girl shapes. See those letters? That's a whole stack of basic gray letters. I didn't bring them home. You know how I feel about basic gray, but I don't need any more letter stickers. I really don't. And 12 by 12 gets a little tricky to buy. I have to put it in Mr. Crafting and Relaxing suitcase, but I can do it. Lots and lots of stickers. And I didn't look at all the stickers. I should have looked in the travel stickers and the embellishments geography right there. But I keep saying I'm going to make travel journals. Look at this. It's a whole section of game pieces. So if you want to do 3-dimensional type projects or, maybe a theme game night, I don't know. I just love that stuff. I kind of get into it. Plastic tubes, bottle caps, corks, tons and tons of stuff to do for teachers. This store is set up for crafters, for teachers, for trash to treasure people. Okay, now we're starting to get into the textiles and it's amazing. Bag of lace, $5. There's some blue in there. I thought about it, but there have been a lot of items that size that I looked at. Tons of eyelet lace, piping trim, bago trim ruffles. I should have looked, right? But anything that was a big bag, I knew that would be tricky for me to bring home. Sequin and beaded trim. I did a sequin challenge last month, so sequins were on my brain. Lace. That blue one intrigued me, but it was a little light, so I passed it by. And I have lots of lace. I'm better at buying lace than using it. Look at that blue trim, that royal blue trim. Didn't even notice it till I was editing the video. This is all just strange, fun stuff. So if you're good at making tassels and you like chunky charms and all of that, this bag of goodness, 75 cents. Junk journaling, art journaling. Look at those July stickers. I saw those in a calendar set over in the papercraft section and I wanted that page, so I thought about buying this. I should have bought it and just taken what I wanted and donated the rest back because of space. I could also use that blue paper pack for glue books. They have so many amazing packages of paper in different format. All that red paper, $1.50. This row is mostly their construction paper. They have a whole section of cardstock. I gave it a quick glance, but cardstock is heavy, takes up space, and I couldn't buy cardstock anywhere. I wanted to get the stuff that I hadn't seen other places and I could not possibly order online. They do have an online store and I'll put all that information down below, but I was really looking for the unusual items. So you can support this store even if you don't live nearby. Look at all of this too. Oh my gosh, they do such a beautiful job. So much fabric and it's so well organized. You can just walk down the aisle. Pretty much everything in the whole store is sorted by color. So, I was in heaven because I don't really need all the colors. Vintage photos for 10 cents each. I did mention to the executive director, that's a little low, right? So when I went through the bin, I don't know that I would call them all vintage. Maybe they will separate them to age in the future. And those of you who wanted the vintage ones will be annoyed because the price will be higher. But I think that there probably are people who come and look through this bin like at least once a week. I would if I was nearby. I did find one photo in here, but for the most part, I wanted older things. And I think you guys have seen me pay a couple dollars for vintage photos. So you know that 10 cents is a killer deal. There are also a lot that are like 70s age. So if you just, if that's vintage to you, then you could use those also. Lots of different colors in there too. So you could just buy them and tear them up for glue books, or you could find maybe old Christmas photos and do themes. Slides, maps, postcards for 10 cents each. So we're going to look through postcards. I didn't look through the maps, but I did get a couple of them. And I just found that the selection here was amazing. There was one item that I did not find anywhere in the store, and I asked the executive director about, and they didn't have it. At least not any right then. So I'll tell you what that is later. Postcards and postcards. I probably should have picked some up for my mom. I looked at the quilt ones, but they were animals, and that's not really her thing. But gorgeous postcards. Bright, bright colors. Those are great for tuck spots in journals, tip outs. If you are someone who recycles materials to make cards with, then some of these would make beautiful card fronts. You could just glue them right on to cardstock and you'd be done. These East Texas Inns vintage postcards kind of cracked me up. I don't know. I don't know a lot about Texas. I just thought maybe I should have one. They were funny to me because you can remember, traveling years ago and kind of what things looked like. When I was making this video, I saw there was another thing down there of quilts that I should have looked at more, but oops. Sorry, Mom. Hope she doesn't watch this. I'll be in some trouble. Maps, treat bags, all kinds of things. As a junk journaler, you really need to shop this entire store. Or as a mixed media person, same thing, because it's not the same. A dozen a day. Do you guys remember those? My grandma had that in her piano bench. I'm sure she did. I saw it and I thought, you don't need to buy it just because grandma had it, but it just cracked me up. The sheet music was very inexpensive. That one's 25 cents. I was just trying to show you some prices. 25 cents, 25. Sheet music in many places is very expensive. So I didn't really need any. And again, I was trying to get, if I had seen like a specific song or blue birds or something, I probably would have, but I was trying to be careful with my space. Cross-stitch stuff. I know there is some crossover in paper crafts and cross-stitching, and Katie would want me to look through these bins, and so would Noni. So I went through them. I saw a lot of brands that I knew that I used to buy back in the day. I think it's Dimensions. You're going to see some of those in here. Yeah, right there. And other brands that I didn't necessarily know, but nothing that I thought my friend Katie would watch this video and say, why didn't you bring that home for me? Hopefully I'm not wrong. You could probably email them and buy it online. I don't know if they still have it. The store turns over pretty quickly. I was there Friday. I was there Saturday. I was impressed at how I found new stuff, even in some of the same sections on Saturday. They have hardworking volunteers and staff putting stuff out all the time. It is really, really fun. Definitely go if you're anywhere near Kansas City. And I have a video from an independent retail store that's not too far away also. So you can make a day. There's some other things you can do. You can easily spend 2 hours in here. If I can shop somewhere for nearly 2 hours, you can probably shop for 3 or 4, because remember that most stores take me 20 minutes. Needlepoint, a bunch of stuff that I don't know if I'm really even qualified to shop in. Do I know about this stuff? Probably not. Some things I'm going to ask you what they are. Buckles, fill a bag. They have a fill a bag sale sometimes too. So if you live near there, you might want to watch their website and check that out. There was a sale on, I think, the office supply section. Honestly, I was so excited to be there. I wasn't that concerned with the sale or the prices. It was amazing. The patterns, I think they were all about $1. I just wanted to chop them up and use the paper. And then I realized I probably have some, so I was okay for that. Look at all this seam binding. I was literally in heaven the minute I pulled out that drawer and looked in there. The selection, unbelievable. I just couldn't even, Scrap PDX does not have that much. They just don't. And I honestly don't like to buy in bulk. I don't want to buy a big bag of something. I want the colors that I want. I don't want to have to come home and thin stuff down and then donate it back. I should just Get used to doing that in the car in the parking lot, huh? I like to pick through and look and get just the right one. I don't want 100 for $1. I just want the ones I want. The color selection was really cool. And then I kept digging through here. So that's like a cream colored lace. And I didn't think I had one like that. I was thinking of fall projects. If you don't watch my channel or you haven't figured it out by now, I'm a blue lover, hardcore. So I was excited by all the blue, but I'm also planning for some fall projects. And I love metallics. So I was looking for some of that. I didn't know exactly what this stuff was, but twill tape, yes, I like that. I buy that stuff. I just didn't know it was really called twill tape. It goes great as a stripe on a card, like a ribbon. It goes great on a journal page. You can tie a tag with it. You can just use a scrap of it like you'd use a scrap of fabric to layer. You can use a tiny 1-inch bit of it as a layer and embellishment. One package can keep me busy for weeks, months. Hook rug yarn. I thought this was going to be those old loopy things, but then it was a bag of blue fabric, so I was more excited anyway. Remember those hook, isn't that what it's called? The hook rug, where you have the yarn things? I'm telling you, this place is amazing. And they are just so nice. I just had a great time there. And as usual, if you're going to film somewhere, be sure you ask first. I don't know what these are. 32 pieces, 16 pieces. I didn't know what that was. Assorted bags of ribbon. It was all I could do not to bring that red, white, and blue bag home. I looked at it and I thought, it would be a sacrifice. I haven't finished shopping. What else? I don't need it, but I loved it. It made me happy. These are fabric samples, like those fabric books that Andrea got us, but kind of cool ones. I didn't think to look for purple ones. My apologies, Andrea. Ribbon, 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 more ribbon. This section, I'm just going to give you a quick glance so you bead lovers know that they have your stuff. I looked through some drawers. I'm going to show you a little bit later. I didn't even know what I was looking at. Are these handkerchiefs? I don't know. But they were very inexpensive, and if you don't have fabric, you might want to grab some. I don't know what these are either, but they're only 75 cents. Ripstop nylon, leather scraps. Again, reusing it and figuring it out. Fabric bolts. Look at that blue one. Blue and gray, it looks like. Then I want to show you this classroom. It was empty this day, but on their website, they talk about activities and things you can do here. And then the next day, there was like a kids' camp going on, and the kids got to come out and fill a bag from a certain section. I was kind of jealous. Seemed like they were having fun, but I was having fun too. So fabric or carpet scraps. Then I got to this section and I was like, seriously, you cannot bring tiles home and carry on. Like, I don't even know if that's a conversation I want to have with TSA, but look at these and think about these in your mixed media projects. So bits of little tiny tile, it would be trash to somebody else at the end of a project. Wouldn't those be amazing, like pressed into a paint pour or, glued onto a canvas? They would be. Paintbrushes for $1. I know that some of these, the quality is going to vary, but I was just impressed at how many they had. This counter, I don't really know what it is, but it's right by those drawers. So we're headed for greatness. Those drawers back there. We'll go back. This, I was looking because I like, the crayons and art crayons, those kind of things. So I was looking. Pastels, I have some and I don't use them anyway. So I don't know why. I might have just been showing you the selection. I couldn't bring any liquids, so I was skipping that kind of stuff. Look at the colored pencils. I'm sure you could go through there and get a really nice selection for 75 cents a piece. Nice erasers, markers, all kinds of stuff. Pens. And this is the art section, so not just the ballpoint pens. Then we're back to paper crafting. Yes, I shop like a lunatic. I don't know what to tell you. What I went back here for was I remembered somebody had been talking about stencils. There were some ladies on this aisle. So I'm looking through this bin and I'm trying to find stencils I would use in art journals. Turns out the bin is very clearly marked scrapbooking stencils. So that's why those are all scrapbook page type stencils. That makes perfect sense. Then this is the jewelry section. The lady who walked me around at the beginning asked me, what do you do? What stuff interests you? And she said, be sure and look in the drawers. Be sure to check the drawers in the back. I am unable to follow directions, and I thought she meant these. So I looked through them a little and thought, she must be a lot better at like jewelry accents or charms on her journals than I am. Like bead caps, I don't even know what to do with those, you guys. These are not the drawers she meant for me to look at. We'll get back to that. Rickrack. So I went back to the trims section. How did I miss this whole thing of rickrack? It was right there on the end. I must have gotten sidetracked. I don't know. Mr. Crafting and Relaxing was not nearly as excited when I found this bin. By then he had come in from outside and was disappointed to find that it was not a really air-conditioned building. Look at that. It has silver in it. Have you seen anything like that? 25 cents of gorgeousness. Gorgeous. Then I'm just looking, thinking, okay, what do I already have? What am I never going to use? Last year or the year before, Katie gave me some iridescent rickrack. I loved that in my winter cards. Snowmen with iridescent rickrack. Oh, it's gorgeous. So I had to have that one. And then I'm just checking it all out because I have never seen a bin with this selection. Look at this little tiny dainty one. If you are shabby chic, you need to go buy that because I left it for you. But I almost bought it, but I just knew that it would sit there. Okay, look at this one. It has metallic in it. I thought this might be great for winter Christmas cards, or I could work it into my fall journals. So much goodness in here. I do not need buttons, but I wanted you to see this. Some stuff, I just wanted you to know it was there. Embroidery floss, DMC and higher end ones that are kind of wasted on me, sorted by color again. And, you could always buy it, take out the expensive one that you want, donate the rest back if that's what you're doing. Look at these giant spools of embroidery machine floss. Is that what you call it? I don't know. Embroidery machine thread, whatever. Buttons, 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 buttons. And the way they have them, they have like their vintage sets up on the wall. That's really nice. Depending on what your style is, you can find stuff easier. All sorts of notions, sewing pins, grommet setters, things I don't know what to do with. Sewing machines. There were probably 10, I don't know. There were a couple different sections of sewing machines. More thread. We're going to get into, this section was called baby yarn, so it's probably made for baby blankets. Then look at this stuff. Oh my gosh. This stuff is great for journal pages, tassels, tying off your tags, embellishments. It's just fun. This stuff, I think they call it the frill yarn. You can put on your tags a lot. Some of it just looks messy when I do it. So I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to buy a lot of that, but that first stuff was really cool. And what is this? Lion chenille? Okay, we'll take some of that too. Some of these, I don't know what you're supposed to make with them, but I'd be willing to research it. The selection of yarn, it just kept going. So I apologize for the spinning, but I'm trying to show you the volume of it. They actually had white yarn for free by the front. I think they just get a lot of white and maybe they give things away on different days. I noticed different items by the front for free. Here's some fabric. Then I'm going to show you one more thing and wrap this up. I asked about the drawers at the very back because I realized old stuff and cool stuff were two of the labels on the drawers. I'm sure that's what they said. And I asked someone and she said, she showed me the drawers and then she said, I have a whole nother bin to bring out. Would you like to see that stuff? I apologize that it's not in the drawers. And I said, absolutely. I'd love to look through it. So I'm holding the camera and trying to show you. And if you recall, I have a bunch of stuff from an estate sale that was a teacher. So I'm leaving some of that type of stuff behind, cool old school things. But there was just wonderful stuff. And I think that's what they do. They just refill these drawers and she just hadn't gotten around to it. A volunteer was refilling the stamp bins, the woodblock stamp bins, the next day when I was there, so I helped her some. You know, if you're buying, that helps. They don't have to put it away. Of course I brought that home. Is there any doubt in your mind? And you can tell we're working our way toward that blue paper, right? I don't know exactly what it is, but we'll look at it in my haul video. There's one thing I want to show you in here that honestly, I probably should have brought it home. The way these are sold is per ounce. I think it's very reasonable. I just had the space issues, and so I left this book behind, and I probably shouldn't have, but I just, I was really trying to be conservative, and I do have old books in my stash. What I didn't think of at the time is that this has beautiful writing in it, and the pages are done differently. Some have numbers, some have writing, so it would have been amazing. If it's still there, maybe you should go buy it today. It was the Kansas Farm Account book. And then look at this. I thought of Melody for this and glue books. Someone had chopped up their magazines and left it for us. Thanks so much for watching. Don't miss my haul videos soon. Look for a store like this near you. Bye-bye.